Howdy y'all, it is Cody from the Keepers of Nerdom. How are you doing? So we are going to look into one of my favorite decks that I think we've previewed this a long time ago, but I think it's fun to revisit this. And you also get to see this really cool deck box that a good friend of mine gave me. Just beautiful. It's from Keyforge itself, the original makers of the game, if memory serves. Really, really beautiful. And what's really cool, Game Genic made it, but then I think they partnered with the original. It's got a magnetic clasp and there's a magnet right in here. And so, boom. Really, really neat stuff. And it opens up. So what we've got is Zumiox, the Spirit Caller Cat Burglar. It is a 40% deck as well. I traded for it, if memory serves, because I wanted it for one specific card. And that's often what happens in so many of these types of decks. I trade for them or own them and keep them because I want them for a certain thing in them. And this is definitely one of those types of decks. And so we're going to go through and review a little bit of it. Why is it good? Why is it interesting? Why is it fun? Why is it only 40%? Well, it's only 40% because a lot of the cards don't do a whole lot, but they're fun. Let's start here. Sanctum. Amber Pip. Shield of Justice. Play for the remainder of the turn. Each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. When you're on a fighting turn, that's insanity. When you've got a lot of creatures out that are ready to go, crazy stuff. Take hostages. Amber Pip for the remainder of the turn. Each time a friendly creature fights, it captures an amber. Amazing. Potion of Invulnerability. It's an artifact. 1 Amber Pip. Omni Sacrifice. This can be any turn. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. So this is the artifact version of Shield of Justice, but this can be on any house turn, whereas this has to be in a Sanctum turn to play the action. Crazy stuff here because, man, you can do some stuff because this has got Brobnar, Logos, and Sanctum as the houses in this deck. Smite. Ready and fight with a friendly creature. So if you just lay down a creature that's exhausted and you have to wait a turn, no, actually ready and fight. And deal 2 damage to the attack creature's neighbors. Crazy good stuff here. Shield of Justice, again, we see that. We need some creatures, though, don't we? Blinding Light, play, choose a house on each creature of that house, so you can control the battlefield. Another Blinding Light. Where's our creatures? Abad the Grim, 4 power, 1 armor. Play, when you play him, he captures 3 ambers. This guy's great. He's just a common, too. When you reap, though, discard 1 from him, so you can get rid of that stuff before they get him back. Abad the Armorsmith, he's only 3 power, but other friendly creatures get a +1 armor. And for an action, he could give another +1 armor for that turn. Chal the Safeguard. He's 4 power, 2 armor. He deploys wherever he wants, and he taunts and protects his neighbors, and he is an amazing card. Doesn't have a lot of power, but he goes where he needs to be. Beamos the Lightbringer. He is a rare 6 power. Play, destroy each elusive creature. So if they have the elusive ability, the elusive keyword, he destroys them immediately. And I think there are some cards in here that don't have that, so you have to be careful with that. Maruk the Marked, 5 power, 1 armor. Also really a cool artwork. After Maruk the Marked, prevents damage with his armor. Capture 1 amber for each damage just prevented. Crazy, crazy good card because it lets you capture more. And if you can get more armor on him, which you can through Abad the Armorsmith, he can capture more than 1 in a turn. Pretty neat. And now we're into the Logos, and we're going to see the card stuff that really makes this. This is a card that it comes with guaranteed another card. Help from Future Self with an Amber Pip. Play. When you play this, search your deck and discard pile for a Time Traveler. So you're looking for a specific card. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck. So that way, this just sits there in the discard pile by himself. But the Time Traveler, who has an Amber Pip from Generation 1 and 2, and when you play him, though, he's 2 power, and you get to draw 2 cards immediately. And action, shuffle Time Traveler into your deck. So if you don't, and it's really playing on this card right here, right? The Help from Future Self. You can see kind of, it's like that hand of the other version of him grabbing him back. Really cool. And so if you don't destroy him in that one turn, they should definitely use that Logos again if at all possible, and this is a rare, to get him back in your deck, because Amber, draw 2 cards, that's some crazy Logos. Wild Wormhole, Amber Pip, play the top card of your deck when you play this. It could be anything, and that's risky, but it also could be really good. Cutthroat Research with an Amber Pip, play, steal 2 if your opponent has 8 or more Amber. Not a great card usually. I love the concept of it, but it doesn't typically work because people will try to stay at 6 or 7 because they know about this card half the time. And another Cutthroat Research, unfortunately. Poke, another bad card. 1 amber, play, deal 1 damage to an enemy creature. If this damage destroys that creature, draw a card. If you're fighting against a Shadows deck, this could be really amazing just to get that draw card, but the 1 damage just doesn't go very far. That's the problem. The Library of Babel, though, whew, what an artifact. Action, draw a card. Just a free draw card every time you call Logos. Another poke. Igor, 2 power. This is actually a really good card. Play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 to your hand and discard the other. So it lets you control what's coming. And if you need another Logos card, awesome. Or you go, ooh, that card, I need that for next turn. 6 power Titan Mechanic. While Titan Mechanic is on a flank, so he has to be at the very ends of your battle line. Each key costs -1, but this is for you and your opponent, so be careful with him. Titan Librarian. He's 4 power, and at the end of your turn, if Titan Librarian is not on a flank, archive a card. So it's interesting, you're supposed to draw cards before you archive with this guy, and so you want to archive a card that you don't need next turn. That way, it's just sitting in there. You don't get to draw back up to 6 to prepare, but he does still speed you up in the long run. Really a cool card. Another Titan Mechanic. And now we're into Brobnar. Into the fray. Play. For the remainder of the turn, a friendly Brobnar creature gains fight. Ready this creature. For every time that creature fights that Brobnar, you ready him back up, and he just keeps going until he's dead. But if you have that Potion of Invulnerability, it gets pretty crazy pretty fast, and then you run into the, Rule of 6, something like that. The Flex. Play. Choose a ready friendly Brobnar creature, exhaust it, and gain amber equal to half its power, rounding down the gain. So if it's a 6 power minion, you get 3 amber. Pretty cool. Groat, 5 power. Fight. Your opponent loses 1 amber. Great card if you can keep it going and alive. Little Rapskull, 2 power. He's elusive, so the first time he is fought, he runs away basically and no damage is dealt. Creatures must fight when used if able, though. Very cool. Blood Money. Play. Place 2 amber from the common supply on an enemy creature. This is a crazy card. Real quick, though, we need to go back to this. This is actually for you as well, that you have to fight if able. So just side note, it could be devastating for you too. But placing 2 amber from the common supply on an enemy creature is really handy because then you can gain access to it pretty quick. First Blood. Alpha card with an amber pip, so you have to play this first. Play, deal 2 damage for each friendly Brobnar creature. You may divide this damage among any number of creatures. Not a great card because you have to have them already out. And it can happen, but eh. Kulf the Quiet, 6 power. He's the funniest weird Brobnar card because he's the only Brobnar card that I really like in a way. Except for, there's a few exceptions, I guess. But just funny because he's elusive. And he's a 6 power, so it just protects him and then you can use him more. Bramo, 4 power, 1 armor. Play, deal 2 damage to each enemy flank creature. That's good. That's good. Gengar Chieftain, I guess that's the problem. Gengar Chieftain is just a good card. Play, you may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. You can get them going quick. 5 power. First Blood again. Calfine, 5 power. Before fight, deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature Calfine fights. So you fight something where you can get rid of its neighbors by knocking them out with Calfine. So it's basically like she's throwing something to hit all of it. And another Gengar Chieftain. Why did I keep this deck? It's the Time Traveler. And why did I trade for it? It was the Time Traveler. I love Sanctum too, so that made it a bonus. I can't stand usually Brobnar. Just not a thing that I care too much about. But Sanctum is just fun because of the control that they often have. But really, the Time Traveler is just a funny gameplay mechanic that often decks don't address very well. And if they do, though, then you pay for it if it actually does address it. But unfortunately, this is only a 40% last time I checked on it. Really cool. It looks almost like a juggling clown of some sort for an Archon. Really a neat thing. But Zumiox, the Spirit Caller Cat Burglar, which is funny because normally you'd think that name would go with Shadows because typically the names relate to one of the houses. And in this case, it doesn't. I don't know. It's just funny. I love it, and it's a neat deck, and that's why I keep it in that wonderful case just to have it in there because it's just one of those special things to have a Time Traveler deck. It's like having the 4 Horsemen type of deck. It's a rare card that really just makes everything fun, and really if you can get crazy lucky and find a Time Traveler and 4 Horsemen deck that's together, those are the ones that are a ton of fun. But yeah, this is one of those interesting Keyforge decks that just has a wonderful just play style to it. It's not going to win against stuff that's 60% and above, but you're going to have a lot of fun when you do play it against things that are more around its tier of play. So yeah, what do you think of Zumiox, the Spirit Caller Cat Burglar? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. Bye, y'all.